babies.
Right,
Better than
I
cats,
see.
I suppose.
Yeah.
And my kids are into it as well now.
Oh, wow.
So yes, yeah, it's just one of those hobbies and passions I have.
Excellent. And I don't know about you, but I find it very good afternoon, plant friends. Hi, it's I'm back again. I've just arrived around 10 minutes ago at the second location for filming for this week's trips out and about. Obviously, yesterday, if you've seen already, we went to the South Down Nurseries over there in Houseplants, and today we are in the Blackbrooks Garden Centre, which is situated in Battle near Hastings. And I just wanted to start off with saying how lovely the cafe is that I'm in, and I just wanted to comment on how decadent and amazing this naughty cake is here, which is a chocolate vegan orange cake. I'm going to do a quick walk around before I start shooting in the plant department and introduce myself to a few members of staff. Going to keep it quite short and sweet with the talking and keep it more about the plants as much as possible. Send a shout out to the vegan chocolate orange cake because obviously being plant based, it is hard to find things that are satisfactory, really nice. So yeah, I will see you guys in a jiff. Right, so here we are, kickstarting things in this area here with this Calathea macchiana. Now this looks to be quite a nice size in a what looks to be a think 12 to 15 centimeter pot, price at 24.99, looking really healthy. And next to that, we have some Ficus elastica, also known as the rubber plant. These are at 10.99. These are looking really nice. And we are at Blackbrooks Garden Centre in Battle in Sussex. And over here we have what looks like to be a Calathea Louisa. Haven't really seen these much in garden centres, so this is a new one for me to see. Um, and that one is priced at £9.99. Really, really nice selection here at Blackbrooks. And just behind these lovely plants, we have a lovely croton here. I think this is the standard croton. I thought it was the mammy for a second, but the mammy looks more rippled. If you like your exotic looking bushy shrubs, this one's for you. I think these are native to the Philippines, and they can exhibit some really, really dynamic colouring if given the right lighting conditions. Obviously, you don't want to put them in too much of the direct sun because they are not acclimated to the direct sunlight. But in the wild, I think they do have pretty much full sun in the Philippines. But with these, I do know that they drop leaves quite quickly if they become unhappy. So you never want to overwater it or underwater it. So you need to really get it quite right with these guys. And if they do not get enough light, they will revert back to green. And just next to the croton, it looks like we have a philodendron red beauty here. This is really nice. I don't know if that's a red beauty actually. Does anybody know what this is? It's got the horse head look to it, / violin shape, which is really, really nice. With that nice glossy burgundy look to it. That is a really nice specimen. I really like the burgundy petioles as well. These are really, really nice. That could probably go on the wish list, but I can't tell you what it is. So if anybody knows, help us out. Um, just down here we have a lovely Maranta. I think this is the Maranta Cochoviana, and that's really nice. And that is priced at £9.99. Really healthy looking plant, really nice. And next to that, we have a Calathea medallion. If you like your Calatheas, this one's a really nice one from the painted varieties of Calathea. But unfortunately, in my property, they do not survive. So I do not dabble with the medallion or the Macchiana or any painted Calathea variety. One of the few Calatheas that I do have, which is the first time I'm seeing out and about, is this lovely example of a Calathea mosaica network. And this was one of the very first plants that I acquired when I started my hobby in depth back in 2023, I'd say. But this, out of the Calatheas for me, is really easy to look after. I find, obviously, with Calatheas, I have said it often, they do like the moisture, but obviously they don't want to become waterlogged. But for mine, I basically water it once the top layer just starts to go a little bit dry. So I do not allow the plant to completely go bone dry at all. And I seem to have really good results of it. But if you look at the detail in the leaves, they're really unusual. Almost looks like DNA patterns. But I'm presuming with most of the Calatheas, which I have said in my previous video, which was filmed at the Southdown Nurseries, it's more than likely that the patternation in this particular species and the other painted varieties is to disrupt the predators in the rainforest. And I'm referring to the likes of the bugs, pests, and any livestock that sort of nibble away at leaves like deer or antelope. and maybe a few others. Just next to the Mosaic network, we've got what looks to be, I think this one is, now with Calatheas, I'm starting to get dizzy with the varieties now. I'm sure this one is the peacock, but obviously you can see it is from the prayer species, and that one's at 14.99, looking really healthy. We've got another Mosaic network next to it. This one looks like a philodendron red beauty, I believe. I'm not sure. It's going to be a red beauty, red Congo, red imperial, something along those lines. And then here we have what looks like to be, I think, the Macayana, possibly. Yep, that is the Calathea Macayana. That one looks like to be in a 10 centimeter pot at 10.99, really decently priced. And then we've got another prayer plant next to it, the Maranta Ketchoviana. Now, I didn't have great luck with a Maranta, which I did have one gifted to me last year at the back end. And unfortunately, I think it came in a bad condition already. So I did try to rescue it, but was unsuccessful. And I think that was due to it being in the wrong soil and it become heavily waterlogged, and it was just rotting at the roots at a rapid rate. So that one had to go to the plant heaven, unfortunately. And again, here we go, as you see in many garden centres, which is a really nice genus, the Dieffenbachia, namely this one at the Sparkles, I believe. I think this one is the Camilla. Did see a couple of these yesterday, aka Dumb Cane. Those are quite easy to look after. When they do grow up, you get that nice, real big jungle leaf, and there are a few other cultivars and species available, so it's quite a diverse genus. Now, just to the left of that, which is this beautiful statement plant, an absolute stunner. What looks to be, I thought it was a Thai constellation, but I do believe it is the Monstera Albo Borsigiana. Now, I do have one of these at home myself. It is one of my favourite plants. I do apologise if the microphone has been temperamental because my pop shield has dropped off somewhere in the garden centre and I haven't been able to locate it. So if there are some crackly sounds and some and whatnot, I do apologise. But look at this. Now, this is on a moss pole. It's looking to be about 5 feet in height with a nice spread of around a metre and a half. And obviously, with the Monstera genus, as you know, they are one of the most easiest to care for house plants. And seeing this, I just became really excited. I'm going to go around to the other end to get a better view of it because obviously the sunlight is coming directly into the lens right now, which doesn't help. Um, Now look at this. What an absolute stunner. Now obviously you can see some browning on this leaf here, but if you look at a leaf here, you don't really see any browning, and this is because of the lack of chlorophyll, you see. So it's quite normal for this to happen. So if you do purchase a Monstera, which is variegated of any cultivar, you will experience this. The more variegation you find in the leaves. But my word, this is absolutely beautiful, guys. Like, I have not seen a variegated Monstera like this close up. And if you watch the channel on a regular basis, you'll know that I'm not really heavily into variegated plants, but I do like the Alba Borsigiana, and I'm not being biased because I do own one myself, which you can see on my Instagram, which I have uploaded photos of. But this is an absolutely beautiful specimen. But I do have one, but mine is probably going to take about 3-4 years to get to this height. So yeah, as I was saying, this Monstera Alba Bussigiana is beautiful. It's priced at £599. No, go ahead, please. It adds to the character of the video. And yeah, look at these leaves. Absolutely gorgeous. And you'll never get the same variegation on two leaves. But yeah, no, I had to spend a bit of time with this one because I know there's a lot of you who love your Monsteras out there. And for beginners, this is the plant if you really want to get a grasp of the whole botanical and horticultural world. I would advise getting it on some support, whether it be a moss pole or a plank. I am going to stop advising people to go for the plank route because I do know you can achieve the big leaves with the moss pole as you would with the wooden plank. But if you watch the channel, you will know that I advise the plank because it's the closest thing to emulate a tree trunk in the Amazon rainforest, which is where you'll find the Monstera deliciosa in its native habitat, namely Southern America. So I'm going to move on next to what we have down here, which looks to be your Fittonia, the mosaic plant, which are really popular for the terrarium guys and hanging basket crew. Quite a nice plant. They don't really grow that high, but really nice for blending into your collection. Calathea here, another Calathea here, some more Makiana. Looks like we have a Philodendron Red Beauty or Imperial or Congo. I'm going to double check that, but it does remind me of a Black Cardinal. As you know, I love that burgundy glossy look. But yeah, no, the mosaic plant is quite unique looking. I think they also call it the nerve plant, hence the look of nerves inside the human anatomy. Just to the left here of the philodendron, we've got some lovely Tradescantia nanook. Now, these are typically grown in hanging baskets and will really add a nice exotic feel to any room or patio. I'd even see these hanging lovely in a conservatory, but they are actually floor coverers, so they actually trail the floor in the forest. But these look really nice. Got some nice deep purple patination. And then we've got what looks to be the Calathea picture or something. I can't remember. I'm going to put the name in the bottom. And look at these guys. We've got some beautiful Monstera Thai constellations here. And if you're a Monstera lover, this is pretty much on everybody's wish list as a plant to own. They have come down in price. As you know, when they first were on the market, they were pretty pricey. I remember cuttings going for around £150 about 3-4 years ago. But these are in what looks to be 10 centimeter pots priced at £49.99. And that's pretty much going price for established nursery potted plants currently. So yeah, I'd say that's a fair price on those. But look at the quality of these; they look absolutely really healthy. Very, very, very healthy Monsteras here. And it's not often you'll find a Thai constellation available in a garden centre. So it is actually nice to see these plants here. And you can also see the soil mix looks really good. You can see some perlite in there. Looks like there's pieces of coconut coir. So that's a really, really good mix. And the plants do look happy in it. So I'd be more than willing to take one of those home. Looks like we have here the Calathea Triostar, I think, or Stramanthe. I think it's the Calathea Triostar, yep. Got some more, looks like nerve plant, Fittonia. A few different varieties here, which are looking nice. Got some more Calathea here. I'm sure this is the Calathea bluegrass, if I remember rightly. I will double check and put the the genuses and species in the bottom left. This one's labelled as the Calathea crocata. I'm sure another name for that is the bluegrass. I'm sure I did buy this originally when I started to collect around 4 years ago properly. Looks like we've got another little, what that is. Might be peperomia, I'm not sure. It says San Paulia Viola. They're violas. Okay. You'll normally find these in borders, in front gardens, or to fill in gaps. Looks like we might have a begonia here of some type, which looks really unusual. So we've got a bit of a multiple variegation going on here. You can see some really dark tones with some almost minty splashes blended in. The patination there, really nice begonia. I don't know the actual cultivar or species of that one. This one's unusual. I've never seen this before. If anybody knows about this plant, this is very, very unusual. So this is called the, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, the Arsene Rich Red Star. I will look this up because that is a little bit striking. It's got South American vibes to me, but I will double check because I am not adamant. I'm not 100% protein that we saw during the beginning of this part of the video. So I'm now going to end this part and move over to the next section because I am pushed for time now. So I will get as much in as I can in the next sort of half an hour. But it's a really lovely selection here so far. The plants are really healthy. I've not really seen one brown leaf or anything, except for obviously on the Monstera Alba Bussigiana, but that is normal on a leaf that is not producing much chlorophyll. That is what you're going to get, okay? It's nature. So I'll be back in a jiffy. Now, I must say this place is truly amazing. I didn't expect it to be this big. I wanted to say thank you to Dan and the rest of the team for inviting me along to come and film their plant section. I probably haven't covered the whole of it, but I've covered as much of it as I can possibly with the time that I do have at the Blackbrooks Garden Centre in Battle. It's set in a lovely surrounding in the countryside. I will put a map of the actual location, and it's really peaceful here, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. And as usual, please like and subscribe if you like the content to help the algorithm pump the videos out to more like-minded plant enthusiasts. So without prolonging any further, I will head over to the plant section, which isn't super massive, isn't small. It's a really nice to house a diverse selection of rare. Right, so I'm just with Amanda and she's asked me what my favourite houseplant was. So for me, I love Monsteras.
Yes.
Because they're really easy to care for, and growing up I would see them all the time and I was always fascinated with the holes in the leaves. But generally my favourite is philodendron.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're familiar with them. Yeah, how about you? What's your favourite plant?
I do like a philodendron. Ring of Fire is my favourite.
Ring of Fire, yes.
I do propagate a lot. I have 150 houseplants.
Oh wow.
I'm obsessed. And Monsteras. I've just actually purchased a Monstera tie from here.
Tie Constellation,
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
They were expensive at one point.
Yes, they still are quite pricey.
Yeah.
But I got a gift card, so I use my money wisely. But philodendrons, oh, I just love. And alocasias as well. I've got a huge one, probably, yeah, a good 4 foot high, and I've propagated from that, and so on and so on. But my favourite philodendron is the pink princess.
So
she's pink. She's definitely pink.
And are you propagating the pink princess as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you sell or?
No, I give away.
Okay, so you're a gifter.
Yeah,
that's nice. So you're
yes.
proper passionate. Sort of influenced you to start the hobby?
Oh
Was
gosh.
it from a child thing?
I've always had houseplants, but when my kids left home, they became my babies.
Right.
Better than cats, I suppose.
Yeah.
And my kids are into it as well now.
Oh,
So
wow.
yes, yeah, it's just one of those hobbies and passions I have.
Excellent. And I don't know about you, but I find it very therapeutic, and
Yes,
yeah, for the mental health aspect. And I think that's what
Yeah.
kind of keeps me attached to it. And also, I don't know, I think my home wouldn't feel right without nature indoors because you're not always able to go out into nature.
Yeah.
It's always nice to sort
Yeah.
of have it indoors and for the air purifying
Yeah.
qualities as well, I
Oh,
find.
yes, absolutely. And I suppose during lockdown, it got a little bit more obsessive. But I have a lovely window seat that overlooks the sea, and I'm surrounded by my plants. And I sit there, and I've got a little spot for my coffee, and I couldn't be happier.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful,
So
Amanda.
I encourage everyone to give it a go. Don't be afraid. The plants will let you know when they're not happy.
See that guy? So I just bumped into Amanda randomly while I was just doing a little bit of a scene, just sat on the wall here. And yeah, she works here and she's really passionate about horticulture as well. And it just goes to show it doesn't matter who you are, what walk of life you're from. I think everybody can connect to plants in some way or another. And if you're a beginner, then please get in. I think plants are going to be a big part of healing process, not only from the horticultural aspect, but for medicinal purposes, healing, meditation, and all the rest of that sort of holistic area. There's a cheeky Alba Bussigiana, smaller than the grand statement piece over there. Its mother. This is beautiful. I don't know what the price is on it. But that's 159, decent size, and it's already fenestrating. It's actually more fenestrated than the bigger one over there. So you can see the fenestration just poking through there on that upper leaf, which looks like to be the most mature leaf out of all of the leaves on this plant. That's another nice Monstera. So if I did buy this, that would go straight onto a plank. And the Monsteras are epiphytic in nature, so they climb tree trunks looking for the light that is shining through the rainforest canopy. There's a nice spathiphyllum here. This is beautiful. In flower as well. You can see the inflorescence just poking through there with a lovely spadix with a load of seeds ready to propagate if you're into propagation. That's a nice piece, Lily. We've got a nice array of cacti here as well. I can see some Opuntia, also known as the rabbit ears. Around £8 to £10 for those, which is nice. Looks like a Sirius. And these are in flower as well, so they must have been fed some phosphorus, or they're just loving the conditions in here. Another rabbit's ear. Now, these Opuntias can be really itchy if these tiny, tiny, tiny needles touch your skin. I've got memories with this cacti. I'm telling you, I've had this one before. Can't remember what this one is called, but that's a lovely cactus. We've got the birds of paradise, orange flowering species known as the Strelitzia reginae. As you can see, this is slightly different to the Nicolai, which we would have seen yesterday at Southdown Nurseries, where you can see not as compact growth and you will have a white flower if it does bloom. So that's a nice example. But I do prefer the Nicolai to the Reginae, and that's just personal preference because I just love that sort of bird sweeping look on the white flowering species. So over here we've got some more Calathea. Looks like we've got a Musa Bajou, also known as a banana tree, which gives you that nice exotic vibe. I do like these. I think I will be investing in some this year because I weren't successful originally when I purchased those. But my knowledge wasn't as abundant as it is now. And just next to the Calathea and the Musa, we have some Anthurium flamingo flower, I believe. And these are quite popular in a lot of garden centres. You'll see these of restaurants, reception desks, windows of salons. Really nice decorative plant. I believe these are native to Colombia, if I'm right, quite a few 100 feet above sea level. So in the corner here, I've seen another croton, which is looking really nice. Quite sizey. Nice coloration going on there. It's obviously getting the light it needs. Really beautiful. Some bamboo there. Lucky bamboo, I believe they're called. So down here we've got some more Thai constellation. These priced at $49.99, not bad. We have some pretty turtle plants here. Not sure of the genus, but those are quite interesting. They are reminding me of another genus. Can't think off the top of my head. They're unusual. One of my favourite, the philodendron micans. That is a beautiful example. I do have one, but it's not in the best condition, so that could be a possible to take home as well. Another one of my favourites, which is basically a cousin to the micans, is the philodendron scandens Brazil. I did pick one of these up yesterday from South Down Nurseries, which I'm really pleased about. And yeah, if you're a beginner, this is a really good plant to get as well. Really easy to care for. As you know, philodendrons, not really too much hassle unless you get really crazy hybrid or some super variegated um, cultivar. Then yeah, you might run into trouble. See a little string of hearts hiding behind the philodendron next to a nice chlorophytum. So string of hearts didn't really work for me. I think I got root rot really early on with the one that I purchased last year at the back end, sort of around Christmas time. But it could have been the fact that it was so small and we came into a really cold period that it just wasn't going to survive. There's another one down there. It's also known as the Geopersia woodii. We've also got the polka dot begonia, also known as the Begonia maculata. I do have one of these at home, but I have a slightly different variety or cultivar, which is called the Begonia white ice, also known as the double dot begonia. So far, so good. I have lost quite a few leaves on mine, but I do believe it is due to winter, so I am playing it by ear with that one. So we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't make it, I'm gonna just accept that maybe begonias are not for my environment, because it's about having plants that work in your room or rooms, you know, because I don't really have to install loads of fancy equipment and give myself extra work to do with all of the workload that I have already. So it's about being sensible and practical, personally. So we've got the asparagus fern here. I was just going to say, I love this little shelving with the wooden vibes. It's a really nice display. Just going to zoom out so you can see. Really rustic. This is giving me an idea for home. And it just looks to be like old school looking wooden boxes. I really like that. Giving me some inspiration. Nice one, Blackbrooks. So we also have some ferns popping up here. More ferns, sorry. We've got the Asplenium osaka. I'm forgetting the common name for this one, but it says air so pure on the label, so I'm presuming this is an air purifying plant, like many other tropical plants and exotic plants. Got a nice Hoya there in a terrarium setting, looking quite cool. I'm not sure what this is. It says Passion Dark Pink. Don't know if that's the name or it's just the company name. It could be, but yeah. Next to that, we have a Zamioculus, Zamifolia, I believe, the ZZ plant, also known as the Zanzibar gem or the plant you can't kill. And people have also called it the devil plant in some cases, because apparently it's impossible to kill this plant due to the fact that it does not require much water. So if you're looking for a plant that you can just leave to get on with it, I do advise and recommend the ZZ plant as a good choice because they only need watering around once a month. I think somebody left a ZZ plant in a dark cupboard for a year and the plant was still surviving without any light or any water for 12 months. And I've just seen here some beautiful philodendron ring of fires. And these have been sneakily hiding. I did not see these. I am tempted to actually get one of these. Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, which is on my wish list for 2025. And I think I might have to take this plant home. I have seen a couple that I do want to take in the car back to my part of Sussex because I do have to get back to the day job when I leave here. But yeah, no, these are lovely. A lot of people mistake these for Monsteras, but they're pretty much the same care as a Monstera. So you want to let them dry out before you water it and give it a nice nitrogen feed every other watering and maybe give it a bit of support. And I think that plant will reward you tenfold. And I think I missed this one, which looks to be a Medinilla. I think it might be the Medinilla magnificum. I'm going to double check, but I do like the Medinilla genus, which you'll find a lot of those in the Indonesian jungles, specifically Borneo. I've seen those pop up quite a bit recently. Really nice plant. Oh, look, there's another one here, Medinilla. So that is a bigger example. It's just so glossy and striking, and it just makes you want to look at it and admire it. Very intriguing. Got quite a nice big sinus here as well. Um, with a bit of an inflorescence coming out here. Really chunky inflorescence, in fact. Yeah, lovely. So we've got another Rhaphidophora here with some more Calathea. Remember, guys, we were at Blackbrooks Garden Centre in Battle. Really, really lovely place. There's so much to see here. There's also other attractions alongside the houseplant section, alongside with outdoor gardening accessories and plants, including an indoor cafe with a clothing area and footwear. There's just a lot here. I don't even think I've gone around the whole site, but really, really impressive place. And I want to thank the guys again for inviting me along to come and film. And I'm sure I'll be back here in the future because the selection is just really, really diverse and interesting. And it's quite a small, intimate space as well. It just goes to show you don't have to be a really huge, big box store to provide some really, really nice house plants in a good condition as well. So if we look here, we've got some carnivorous species from the Sarracenia genus. We've got the Venus flytrap, also known as pronounce it Musciplula. So if you're into these, I know they only like rainwater, I've heard. So you want to collect or have access to a local spring. And I'm sure with these, you might probably be better off bottom watering. But I'm not really an expert with the carnivorous plants. I don't actually own any or have owned any. I think I might have had a Venus flytrap once that lasted for about 3-4 days, if that. But yeah, if you're into carnivorous plants, then yeah, they've got a nice selection of those here. We've also got a nice Syngonium here, which looks to be the Syngonium Pixie. I'm a big fan of Syngoniums because they are so easy to care for. Pretty much similar to a philodendron. Let them dry out almost completely in between waterings. Nice boost of nitrogen every other feed or micro every feed, every watering, which is what I do. So I feed every watering, but in tiny, tiny, tiny micro amounts. My plants seem to thrive. But as you can see, just above the Syngonium, we also have some lovely terrariums here, which are all ready to go with some Phytonia inside and some mini Calatheas, which are looking really, really cool. Um, so yeah, really, really nice selection here. Some mini Dracaenas, some more Peperomia, few succulents, some crassula sunsets, a nice little Hoya hide in here, which looks like to be the Carnosa tricolour, which I've always said is a staple. Nice big Calathea here, which looks to be the peacock or the ornata. Man, I keep getting these Calatheas mixed up. Sometimes I say Calathea, sometimes Calathea, because I hear so many different pronunciations. And look at this lovely Kentia palm. One of my favourite palms. I do own one myself. And for me, this is one of the easiest houseplants in my collection. I let pretty much the soil go over bone dry in between waterings, and I keep it in a quite low light area in a north facing window, and it thrives, and it just rewards me, never giving me any hassle. Sometimes I do get the odd brown tips on the leaves, but I think that's due to me underwatering sometimes where I let it go too dry, so they can take some cold periods. Because I've got mine right next to a window, right by doorways where there's drafts, and they seem to survive. That's the Kentia palm. Naughty me. Have you got a dustpan and brush, please? I've come to the conclusion that obviously I want to take a plant home, and I think being sensible, I'm not going to go for anything that I know I won't be able to care for. And philodendrons are my number one. So I am going to take one of these Ring of Fire plants home, and I want you to guess in the comments which one I took home. Did I take the one on the left home or the one on the right?